I want to call on Matt, our first presenter here, who decided to do just that, right? He took the first step, the scariest of them all, right? Well, one of them was to join.
Come on this side of that black tape, because you got like 300 people out there that are watching.
Okay.
You just can't see them.
That's better than I don't see them.
Yeah.
So he joined. First scary decision was what? To join?
To join,
Right.
because I went. Well, it was yeah, to take the first step of doing the 2-day and all that, but then
You got to hold the mic up.
Oh,
right.
sorry.
Put it right there on the fuzz.
To take the first step and do the 2-day and all that, and then I talked to a friend of mine, so that was a little less scary because a friend of mine had been doing it for a little while, and so I just kind of went all in with the pig straight from there, and
Okay.
so that was a little less scary. Really the scary part was the first house.
Okay,
This first house that I
Okay, very good. And which we're going to talk about here in a second. But let's just give us, some background story about you. You are in the oil field industry, oil and gas.
So I work in the oil field services industry. I've been doing it since I graduated in 2001 and went straight into the oil field services industry. And as you know, the oil field is up and down.
Cyclical, yes.
Very cyclical. The cycles get shorter and shorter every couple of years, it seems. But we've been lucky enough to kind of weather all those. But you kind of see the writing on the wall at some point. You're gonna see part of that cycle. So trying to find something different is definitely important.
Okay, and Tiffany is a stay-home mom.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough that 15 years ago or so, she kind of quit her W-2 and just stayed at home.
So what do you do in the oil and gas company? What's your job?
So I look after the engineering and
Okay.
engineering organization for
Okay.
a service company.
And how many hours a week do you work, would you say?
Probably 50, 60 hours a week.
Okay, all right. And you joined just recently in April?
April of this year, yeah.
Okay, and how did you find out about Lifestyles?
A friend of mine.
Okay, that's the fun.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you do it?
Well, as I look through, the retirement savings that you have is continuously going up, but you start looking at it and you're like, okay, this is really because I keep putting money into it. The growth of it is not what you think it doesn't grow as quickly as what you really want it to do, and really needed a different place to try and help grow some of my retirement and different place to invest in retirement.
All right, very good. So you found your first house about how long after you joined?
Probably about 4 months. It was July, just middle of July.
Okay, so you joined in April and you got into your first deal in July.
Yes.
And what did you do in that time in between?
Just constantly looking at houses and
Okay.
running quest evaluations, and
Doing education, hopefully, right?
I did a lot of the education. I was kind of the overachiever. Like in the first week, I did every single thing you could do for the single family mentor membership.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of the passive yet, but I did all the single family, and just because that was the first thing I wanted to start with, just to kind of learn a little bit more about it. And then, constantly running quest. And
Now, where is this?
this is in Lamarck, so just north
know where
of
that place
Galveston.
is? Yeah? Anybody live there? No? No.
So I was telling Matt that all houses are in Lamarck, Texas City area, and I didn't know those places existed until I started buying houses there. I had no idea, and now you cannot get me out of that area at all. So let's talk about this house. How did you find it?
One of the lifestyle realtors sent it to me. I'd been constantly running quest evaluations, and he sent it over and said, "Hey, Matt, take a look at this one. See what you think. See if this one gets you over the hump."
Okay, very good. And for those of you that are going to come back this weekend and who don't know, or Chris is going to go over the process of how these email blasts and all the deals can come to you, right? Once you join. So that if you are wondering where you can find deals, just rest assured he will go over it and they will land in your mailbox. And Moon usually sends emails at 6 a.m.
Like all the hours of the day?
Yeah, okay. Yes, exactly. Okay, so the realtor sent you this deal and said, okay, Matt, here, what do you think about this house? So tell us a little bit about it. How big is it? How many rooms?
It was 1,200 square foot or 1,250, something like that. Turned out to be, we converted the garage into a room, so it was 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. We converted it into 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it came out to be 1,412-ish square feet on a good-sized lot, and yeah.
Okay, very good. So, and this was a wholesale deal?
This was a wholesale deal.
Perfect, okay. And again, when you come back this weekend, Chris will go over the many ways that deals, come to us, and I'll let you handle that.
All right.
Okay, so before and after pictures, that's the kitchen.
Yeah, so I didn't have the right view
Angle?
the angles correctly, but what you can kind of see here is we kind of expanded the kitchen or kind of made it a little bigger. If you kind of saw to the right of where that stove was, that's where it ended. In the next picture, you'll see kind of what the wall would have. Yeah, so there we kind of opened that up so that we could get more room in the kitchen. Before, it didn't have a dishwasher, for instance. The refrigerator was right there where the dishwasher was. There was like 3 cabinets, all torn to pieces. And we just kind of opened up one wall and just closed in a door and so that we could get plenty of room and add a dishwasher in there. Everybody likes a dishwasher in their house, I guess.
Yes. Okay, so while our projects should not land you on an HGTV episode, we try to make it as functional as possible for our tenant, and it's a good strategy to have because it'll make selling the house easier, whether you're selling it to renters and you're trying to get them, to rent this house, and you're touring the house and you're explaining the functionality and how things, can be when they move in, or much later down the road when you put it on the market, you get no objection from potential sellers, right? Because buyers, because it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah, and we had a lot of discussion around it with the contractor, and then I also checked with the mentor and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing because I need to add this, and we kind of had a little bit of discussion around that.
Yes.
So.
And for first timers, we don't expect you to know all these things. We have a GC to lean on. You also have us to lean on as well to help guide you with all your decisions. Now, again, we're not going for HGTV competition. We're just trying to give our residents the best product at the best price, which is something that Chris will cover again this weekend. You have a lot of things to cover.
I have a lot of things. Give me all sorts of work.
All right, bathroom before and after. Okay, this is just your typical lifestyles model of remodeling that we do. Nothing crazy, gray, agreeable gray, and vinyl plank. All right, let's talk numbers, which is what we want to see here. The purchase price was $91,000. Did you negotiate this price down, or was it a done deal?
No, it was pretty much a done deal. Yeah.
Okay. Your rehab was $52,000. Other costs were $16,000, and that includes your, some of the closing costs, maybe down payment to the wholesaler. For the ARV, that was $185,000. So I have a question for you about the ARV. Did you expect this much going into the deal? Was it higher? Was it lower? Where did it land at the end of the day?
No, we had it kind of at 171 when we first.
Okay, so you
Did all
went
the
into the
numbers
deal
and-
thinking it was 171, but then it came in at 185.
Yeah, and we did a couple of things to move it up. That kind of we spent a little extra on the rehab, but it paid dividends on the.
The garage conversion, that would absolutely help, absolutely. So your equity capture right off the bat is $25,000, and that is equity capture that you realize. Well, you don't realize it, in your bank account, but it's in the house. It's the equity in the house, and it's $25,000. Your total cash out of pocket is $35,000. You're currently renting it for $1,525, which is an annual income, a rental income of $18,300, and your cash flow is $250 a month. So so he's not putting $1,525 in his pocket. He's actually paying the mortgage, the interest, the tax, and the insurance. So once all those bills have been paid, he is left with $250 a month. Cash on cash return is 8.6%, and your return on equity capture is 73%. That's very good.
What were you looking for in this deal?
Yes.
Were you looking for the equity? Were you looking for cash flow? Were you just trying to get your foot wet?
I was just trying to get into it and just try to learn the process. I kind of wanted an equal split between return on equity and cash on cash.
You didn't do a very good job on that. 73 versus 8, right? A little lopsided there.
We actually ended up a little bit higher on the cash flow than that, like right at 9-point-something%. Okay. But yeah, the little.
You okay with that equity capture though?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Who's ready to make 73% on their money? Yeah. You put what was that? You put 10,000 in, you make 7,000 the day you close. $7,300. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Okay. So how has your life changed since you joined and bought the first house?
Yeah, just like I said, learning the whole process and everything, you kind of get the feeling now, or I get the understanding now that there is a possible path to retirement, and making sure that it's not just a pile of savings sitting there that I'm going to slowly work down, that it's going to be a savings that continues to pay me, so I can retire without outliving my savings. So.
Very good, very good. So tell us about your goals, short and long term.
So short term, within the next year, hopefully a little less. I want to do about 5 or 7 more homes. I don't know if I can do 10 in 9 months. That's and then I want to start getting into kind of the passive multifamily. That's really the whole reason why I got into it. I like the single family. It's a lot of fun. That's why I want to do 5 or 7 more. But kind of the passive multifamily is what I kind of got into it for.
All right.
And then.
So your mentors, it was Sorrel, right?
Sorrel, yes.
Okay. And the realtor with our realty team is Moon Kim. And these are vendors. And you're going to go over the program again on this weekend?
A little bit.
How to get over okay.
How'd you find all your vendors? You got some
how
pictures
did you find
up
them?
there.
Yes.
I went on the vendor referral list on the
vendor program?
on the vendor program on the lifestyles
Marketplace.
page.
Okay.
One of the great things about Lifestyles, your team's already built. You got one place where you can just start. So I'm going to guess that every single one of these people that's up here, all you had to do is make a phone call, say, hey, I'm a Lifestyles guy. I have no idea what's going on. Can you help me?
Yep.
Sound kind of familiar?
That's it. And actually, every one of them was very, very willing to help. You say, hey, this is what I kind of see. Well, no.
You know why? Because you're going to do 5 to 7 more of them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Has anyone said, I'm too busy?
Absolutely not.
Okay, very good. Okay. Any questions?
I got a question online.
Yes.
It's going to be a few slides back, but what were you classifying as other costs?
Those are your closing costs.
Yes, those are the closing costs.
Okay. Closing costs.
And closing costs can be your title insurance, the title policy that you have to pay, the origination fee that the lender will charge, the document preparation, the recording of the deed. So these are all costs that incur in the life of a transaction twice, when you've closed the first time and when you change the loan, the terms of the loan the second time. Yes. Sorry, hold on.
We have to go to the city and get permits, and do we have to declare that it is increased area, tax purposes, or?
So the question is, he had the garage conversion. Which one is the pointer? Is it the red one?
Yep.
Okay, so the garage conversion, you can see, so it was a garage, then there is no garage anymore, and you can see a window. That is a window for the bedroom, right? So what the garage conversion does is that it increases the livable size of the house. So the garage usually is not a finished area, so it doesn't count towards the square footage. But when you make it, when you turn it into a bedroom with the bathroom, it gets added to the whole square footage of the house, which means now your ARV is even higher than before. The question is, do you get a permit to do that? You need to get a permit, because if the city finds out that you did the garage conversion, they will red tag you. Okay, that's question number one. Question number two, do you let the tax assessor know that he's about to get more money from you? No, you don't. You only go to the tax assessor if they are appraising, if their square footage is higher than yours, but never the other way around. Okay? I have a question for you. Do you have any other question online, David? No. Any question here? I have a few questions. Yes, sir.
Matt, did you use a hard money loan to purchase this property?
Okay, question is, did Matt use a hard money lender?
Yes, yeah, so I use Capital Concepts for both the hard money and the refi into a conventional.
Okay, so you have refined it already?
Yes, sir, yeah.
And for the new folks in the room, we use two types of financing. There's hard money, that's kind of a construction rehab loan. We'll go way into depth on that on Saturday. And then we refinance that into a long-term 30-year fixed rate mortgage, right? That's exactly what you did?
Yes, sir.
What's your interest rate? Do you remember?
6.5.
6.5. And it still cash flows $250 a month? Do you ever get excited? There we go. All right.
Did you have to pay points?
No,
You did not have to pay. That's very good. That's very good. Who helped you lease it?
I actually put a sign in the front yard, and then I listed it on Zillow, and almost everything came from the sign in the front yard, and the people that I ended up leasing it to was from the sign in the front yard, and leased weeks before we were even done with the rehab. So
Okay.
Wait, so you listened to your mentor? Yeah. You did what you were told to do?
I try.
All right. Way to
Yeah,
go.
my first house, I put a sign in the yard. And
Me
it
too, I did the same
leased,
thing.
yeah. It really leased before the rehab was done. Same story as yours.
So you're the leasing agent.
Yes, sir.
Do you live close to Lamarck?
I actually do. I live League
did
City,
raise your
so a
hand
couple of I did.
Oh, you did? I must have been standing that way. All
I'm
right.
looking to the right where you came from.
That's right. I'm hanging on the right.
Okay, how scary was it on the scale of 1 to 5, your first deal?
10.
Probably, yeah, at 5 at least.
Okay, so now looking back, you just, you finished it, you went through the process. How has that changed your confidence? How do you feel now going into deal 2?
Well, especially after seeing what
The
can be
process.
done in the houses and things, after you look at them, and then how easy it is to transform them, and kind of how easy the whole process is, and just following the map. It's very, very simple now. Now I can look at a house and, oh, this one can do this, and I can do that.
Very good. Very
You
good.
freaked out half the people in the room. Use the term easy. Anybody think he's a scam artist or a liar? How many
Right.
paintbrushes did you pick up?
0.
Hammers?
I actually did pick up one hammer, that little lattice that you see on the front. They had there was nothing there, and so I put that on. So yes, I did pick up one hammer,
All
but
right. All right. Screwdriver?
but 0 screwdrivers, and it took me like 5 minutes. So
All right. We'll give you a pass
All right.
on that one.
Okay. Any other questions? No? We're good?
I have a question.
Oh, please.
What would you tell the new folks in the room?
just get it over with.
Do it.
Do it.
Get it over with?
Get it over. Get the first one. Get the first one over with, and I think it. Yeah.
You'll be glad you did. Right.
I have a question.
Yes.
How did you screen your tenant?
Question is, how did you screen your tenants?
So I used NTN screening services for that, and then
It's National Tenant Network. They're one of our vendor partners.
And also, if you list it with Zillow or apartments.com, you can do screening through that website as well. And they'll do it for you. Okay?
I do have 2 more questions.
All right, we'll take those last 2 then.
Can you just repeat I had somebody ask how you leased it. You put a sign in the yard, and what else did you do?
put it on Zillow as
How
well.
long did it take
I leased it 2 weeks before we were done with the.
before you were done? So
Before we were done with the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want-
The people were actually waiting to move in while we were kind of finishing up. They actually cleaned the house the morning of the day they moved in. So.
Great. Good deal.
And you had another question? Or that was it? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Matt. Can you give him a hand, please? Thank you.